23, 13, 22, 47. Broadcast 2024-2. The Whole.
All points broadcast to informed citizens and members of the Society. Commentary will be appended where necessary. Do not be alarmed. Truth, faith, and reason are the tools of light. Ignorance and superstition are the agents of darkness. Foundation File of Interest SCP-1437. The Whole. Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-1437 is to be contained behind a perimeter of 2-meter-tall electrical fencing, which is to be patrolled by groups of 3 security officers at all times. Any trespassers attempting to access SCP-1437 are to be brought into custody, interrogated, and, if found to be ignorant of SCP-1437's nature, dosed with Class A amnestic and released. Any items or organisms which emerge from SCP-1437 are to be immediately tested for hazards. If safe, examined further. Experimentation involving 1437 is strictly forbidden. SCP-1437 is an, apparently, endless hole measuring 3 meters by 3 meters, located in the desert. Attempts to dig into SCP-1437 from the side result in the diggers encountering solid rock where logic would dictate that SCP-1437 would be. SCP-1437 is thus only accessible from its entrance above ground. SCP-1437 appears to be an access point to an unknown number of parallel universes. Objects have been known to periodically emerge from SCP-1437 at great speeds, including a map of North America written in Spanish. According to the said map, the government of North America is La República Popular de Aguas Nuevas, or the People's Republic of New Waters. And Society Annotation 11437. Occurs to me that this may be related to LO259. Refer to the archives at Sanctum Z as a potential point of confluence. Continuing. A photograph of a significantly altered New York City skyline with buildings constructed of coral. Large biological organism spotted flying in the distance. For Mithra's sake, all organisms are, by definition, biological. Chum. And finally, several discs made from solid gold. Accompanying the discs was a sheet of paper reading, "Please send rain." During a period lasting from 2000 to 2000, numerous individuals, most of whom wore D-Class uniforms, emerged from SCP-1437. All of them were dead on arrival. All emerging individuals carried documents which appear to be their respective universes' documentation on SCP-1437. It is currently believed that these D-Class personnel were sent as a gesture of desired cooperation. How very like the Foundation to use people regarded as little more than expendable slaves for such an excursion. Nevertheless, differences between these parallel realities might help us come to grips with the needs with which to protect ours with more capability, and as such I laud the attempt at coordination, even if I deeply despise the method for doing so. The Foundation file appends with the following variations, labeled 1437/1, 1437/2, 1437/3, and 1437/4. SMs 139 and 487 assist the Society tonight in presenting these as follows.
Variation 1437/1. Corpse of individual carrying documentation appeared to be in adequate physical condition. Individual was wearing a pressure suit with an attached oxygen supply. SCP-1437. Safety rating, safe for public. Safety procedures. Unauthorized citizens are to be kept at a safe distance from SCP-1437 at all times. Any unauthorized tours of the area are to be accompanied by 2 security officers for their own protection. Taking of photographs is to be permitted. Any citizens attempting to go past safety fencing are to be arrested and handed over to local law enforcement.
So, the Foundation is hosting tourists. Now it's only a matter of time before they begin to offer timeshares.
Description: SCP-1437 is an apparently endless hole measuring 10 meters by 10 meters, located in the town of Promise. Attempts to dig into SCP-1437 from the side result in the diggers encountering solid rock, where logic would dictate SCP-1437 would be. SCP-1437 is thus only accessible from its entrance above ground. SCP-1437 appears to be an access point to an as of yet unknown number of parallel universes. Objects have been known to periodically emerge from SCP-1437 at great speeds, including one small pyramid composed of concrete, first known object emergence, large quantities of dirt and rocks, believed to be an attempt by a parallel safety team to fill in their corresponding SCP-1437, a landscape painting believed to be of a location in Scotland. According to the painting, in the originating reality, the sun is blue and the sky yellow. Several discs made from solid gold. Accompanying the discs was a sheet of paper reading, "Please stop plague." A photograph of several scientists. All scientists pictured have unusually long fingers, estimated to be nearly 25 centimeters long. A sheet of paper reading, "Thank you, please send more gifts." During a period lasting from 2009 to 2012, numerous individuals, most of whom wore bright orange jumpsuits, emerged from SCP-1437, all of whom were dead on arrival. All emerging individuals carried documents which appeared to be their respective universes' documentation on SCP-1437. It is currently believed that these individuals and the documentation they carried were sent as a gesture of desired cooperation. On the 15th of August 2012, a volunteer from the Foundation, Marco Perton, entered SCP-1437 wearing safety gear, taking with him a copy of this document.
And so we see that in this parallel universe, the skies are yellow, pyramids are collectible, and D-class personnel do not exist. Fascinating. Number 487, if you're prepared, the floor, as they say, is all yours.
Variation 1437/2. Individual carrying documentation was in adequate physical condition. The phrase, "property of SCP Corporation," was branded on the individual's left arm. SCP-1437. Threat level, little. Special containment procedures. 1437 is to be contained behind a perimeter of 2-meter-tall electrical fencing, which is to be patrolled by groups of 3 security officers at all times. Any trespassers attempting to access SCP-1437 are to be charged with a crime of industrial espionage. Any items or organisms which emerge from SCP-1437 are to be immediately tested for hazards and, if found safe, examined further. After examination, suitable items are to be auctioned off to interested collectors. Description: SCP-1437 is an apparently endless hole, measuring 1 meter by 1 meter, located in the outback. Attempts to dig into SCP-1437 from the side result in the diggers encountering solid rock where logic would dictate SCP-1437 would be. SCP-1437 is thus only accessible from its entrance above ground. SCP-1437 appears to be an access point to an as of yet unknown number of parallel universes. Objects have been known to periodically emerge from SCP-1437 at great speeds, including a statue of what is believed to be a reptilian entity sporting numerous eyes and tails. First known object emergence. Large quantities of dirt and rocks, believed to be an attempt by a parallel containment team to fill in their corresponding SCP-1437. A glass bottle of water. A human femur, covered in saliva. A cube composed of several smaller cubes, all of which are different colors. Purpose unknown. A soccer ball. Ball only has 5 sides. Okay. During a period lasting from December 2012 to April 2013, numerous individuals, most of which wore D-Class uniforms, emerged from SCP-1437. All of these individuals were dead on arrival. An addendum to this text reads, "The fact that it is apparently impossible to travel through SCP-1437 and survive has prevented the corporation from utilizing SCP-1437 for commercial purposes." What the?
I'm not sure your guess is as good as mine.
21 such corpses have emerged to date. All emerging individuals carry documents which appear to be their respective universes' documentation on SCP-1437. It is currently believed that these D-Class personnel were sent as a gesture of desired cooperation. Several D-Class personnel have been sent through SCP-1437 carrying copies of this document.
And a third variation, presented here again by researcher SM-139. Before the doctor begins, I advise the listener to observe that the following variation contains descriptives of a somewhat shocking nature. If you are easily triggered by violence, I advise leaving the room for a brief period of time. If you are a member of the society, of course, I urge you to remain. This sort of thing is, well, it's what we must contend with in our line of work.
Variation of 1437/3, SCP-1437. Individual carrying documentation was wrapped in bandages and appeared to have been blinded in the recent past. Lacerations were present on the arms and legs, and the individual's tongue had been cut out. Heathen level, unforgivable. Holding measures, High Priest redacted, is to bless the holding site of SCP-1437 every 2 years, and blood sacrifices are to be dropped into 1437 after each blessing. Blood sacrifices are to be dropped with these scrolls as a warning to any demons to stay away. The spirits are to be consulted after these sacrifices, and suggested changes to holding measures are to be carried out immediately. SCP-1437 is an apparently endless hole, measuring at 3 meters by 3 meters, located in the redacted desert. Attempts to dig into SCP-1437 from the side result in the diggers encountering a solid rock, where logic would dictate SCP-1437 would be. SCP-1437 is thus only accessible from its entrance above ground. SCP-1437 appears to be a portal to the underworld. Objects have been known to periodically emerge from SCP-1437 at great speeds, including several discs made from solid gold. Accompanying the disc was a sheet of paper reading, "Please kill foes." Large quantities of dirt and rocks, believed to be an attempt by demons to harm the High Priest, redacted, who was present at the holding site at the time. The broken remains of a human arm, covered in saliva. A photograph of a metal bird flying away from a city. What appears to be a large mushroom is visible behind the bird, believed to be an attempt by demons at mocking us. A human eye which moved when touched, believed to be a lesser demon, was burnt immediately. During a period lasting from 21st century date redacted to 21st century date redacted, dead demons wearing the skins of men emerged from the pit. They were thrown back in immediately, and the site was re-blessed by High Priest redacted.
And finally, variation 1437/4. Variation 1437/4. Society advisory. The following descriptives may also be very triggering to some of you, so we again advise caution. Individual carrying documentation was a heavily emaciated who appeared to have been lobotomized in the recent past. Item number SCP-1437. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. 1437 is to be contained behind a perimeter of 2-meter-tall electrical fencing, which is to be patrolled by groups of 3 security officers at all times. Any trespassers attempting to access SCP-1437 are to be delivered to our masters above for enhanced interrogation. Any items or organisms which emerge from SCP-1437 are to be immediately tested for hazards, and if found safe, examined further. Any useful technology which emerges from SCP-1437 is to be delivered to our masters above immediately. 1437 is an apparently endless hole measuring 4 meters by 4 meters, located in Zone 29 of the Brazilian sector. Attempts to dig into SCP-1437 from the side result in the diggers encountering solid rock where logic would dictate that SCP-1437 would be. SCP-1437 is thus only accessible from its entrance above ground. A note to the Society: please recall that there is no such thing as an endless hole. SCP-1437 appears to be an access point to an as-of-yet unknown number of parallel universes. Objects believed to be gifts intended for our masters above have been known to periodically emerge from SCP-1437 at great speeds, including 1. Diamond. First known gift, delivered to our masters above. Large quantities of dirt and rocks, purpose unknown. Bark from the extinct Quercus bucklei, delivered to our masters above. Quercus bucklei, the Buckley or Texas red oak. On date redacted, a bottle of human-intended wine emerged from SCP-1437. Recognizing an assassination attempt upon members of our masters above, the supervising servant ordered that an explosive device be delivered down SCP-1437. Its orders were followed, and the threat appears to have been resolved. Appended commentary from Foundation leadership native to the linked parallel reality reads as follows. This is a reminder of why we must be vigilant in our containment procedures. From now on, I don't want any of these gifts being taken out of containment. They are a clear and present danger to our masters above. 051. File concludes. So a dilemma arises. At what point is communication with an alternate reality appropriate, and at what point is it ethical? And how do we apply our present sense of right and wrong to the question of intervention? As H.G. Wells once said to me, reality is what you make it. Worth a thought, I think. I thank our Society fellows tonight for their assistance in broadcasting this bulletin. I think it's about time I provided those drinks I owed you. That concludes this information bulletin. Don't be afraid, and remember, we have seen what you have seen. We have heard what you have heard. Have faith. We know.
1688-29. Broadcast 2024-2 ends.
This episode of Voices from the Ether was based upon SCP-1437, The Hole, by Tanhony. It was adapted for audio by Alex Bagassi and is used under the Creative Commons license. Our players tonight included August Brotherton, Kieran Byrne, and Guinevere McGregor. Our editing and sound was, as always, done by the exceptional Creative Minds Audio. Our logo was developed by Madsface. The Helios Radio was developed and created by Kieran Byrne. All contents of this broadcast and associated media have been treated with the Nagoya mimetic. You cannot see the happy Hoppity Bunny, and the happy Hoppity Bunny cannot see you. But the faceless God sees all things.